I almost don't even care about how they found out. I don't care about anybody else, honestly. Anybody, like, how else do I say that? I don't care about anybody else on the planet. First of all, I don't even have emotion. I don't even think there are beings that will contain emotion. You know what? I feel like if I was a unicorn, I'd just turn into a human and then I'd break off my unicorn horn. That doesn't make any sense. I want to throttle. I want to, like, oh gosh, this word just sounds like blah, blah, blah. I don't have any idea why the ridiculousness coming out of the spewing mouth of those guys actually happened. Like, why do I think that some sort of ridiculous connection can be connected in some ridiculous way? Dude, what do I even say? My freaking joke about what do you call a room full of Democrats? An international cockblock. And then I listen to the Joe Rogan show, the most recent one, and then I laugh about it. I said that was a good joke, like as I was watching, like middle of the show. Dude. Just freaking jumping and dancing and freaking ridiculous movements and ridiculousness, and it all means nothing. It all means nothing. It is the height of failure, of stranglehold. I mean, that's not even a strong enough word. What is it? Is it life sucking? Is it just like just full on draining? Is it control? Is it strangling? Is it squeezing? Is it the lack of I don't even have anything else to say to those guys. I don't even think the purpose of explaining what I think happened in my I don't even, what? Is it some kind of attempt to become even more aware in knowledge, to become even more knowledgeable? Is that what it's about? Is it literally the struggling of the attempted continued suffering of failure and just collapse and ridiculousness? Is that what it is? Is it just the absolute admittance of ridiculousness, an attempt of failure? Okay, so what am I going to say? I got to say, like, oh, these guys, everything that they said, they can't even get a word of that out of their mouths. Is that what's so exciting? Is that what's so thrilling about life? Is that even, like, what's thrilling about life? Is that what life is about? Like, first of all, perhaps, there's no point in saying perhaps. It is true. They can't get a single word out of their mouth. They won't ever be able to get a single word out of their mouth. Is that the whole goal? For them to not get a single word out of their mouth? What's the point of even making fun? What's the point of even having that thought enter your mind? What's the point of even being conscious anymore? What's the point? There's no essence. There's no point. There's no life. There's nothing. It is nothingness. It is the emanation. It is the purity of nothingness. And I don't judge, but they're absolute imbeciles. I'm definitely not judging based on appearance, but they're absolute imbeciles. Irritating. So freaking irritating. Strangleworthy. Absolutely irritated. And it's not enough. The emotion is not enough. The effort is not enough. The intent is not enough. The focus is not enough. The danger is not enough. The risk is not enough. The potential is not enough. The reach is not enough. It's not enough. It's not enough for them, and it will never be enough for them. Never. Never, ever, 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 ever. What is it? Is it something like Gabriel Iglesias? Ah! Probably. Something just absolutely encapsulating and just encapsulating the encapsulation and the capturation. I'm so out of it right now. What's interesting is that I'm still alive. And what's amazing is that they're not going to get away with it. You know, I'm gonna have a fun time explaining that they're not going to get away with it. And it's not even about fun anymore. It's not. It really isn't. Like, what even is it about? What would even what kind of what kind of attempt is that? Okay, like, you know what? I'm not even gonna talk about it. Like, there's no more. There's no essence. There's no reason to talk about it, and there's no reason to even talk. There's no reason for them to speak. There's not another word that's coming out of their mouths. There's not even another explanation or another sense of evolution. There's nothing. It's not there. It's non-existent. It doesn't exist. It's more than non-existent. It's done for. It is eliminated. It is squashed. It is zilch. It is a pigeon. It is dried pigeon poo. It is nothing. It is absolutely nothing. It is a pebble. It is less than pebbles. It is not a rock. It is not gold. It is not a pebble. It is a rock. It is gold. It is a pebble. It is nothing. It will never be anything. And it will strive to discover what it means to really be absolutely nothing. To really be the essence of patheticness. And not just patheticness, but to be the like, how? How is it, like, even possible to have such a ridiculous attempt, a desire to continue to go to go down a road that would consider to be failing? And it's not even a road. It's not even a path. It's just nothing. It's nothingness. They're absolutely nothing, and it's nothingness surrounded by nothingness and nothingness, and not a single word will even escape their mouths. And it's not even the fact that it's their own fault. It's the fact that they encapsulate nothingness. They encapsulate nothing. And it's they're gone. They're just nothing. It's like there's nothing there. And it's like they try to explain how they think that there's something there, and they try to reach for something that they can't even reach for, and they attempt, and it's just blibbering and blabbering, and they fail. It's a complete diabolical, catastrophic, masochistical failure. Catastrophic failure. It is the discovery of failure. It is the discovery of a brand new patheticness. It is the discovery of a brand new level of patheticness, of nothingness, of minuscule nitty and bittiness. And it's not the fact that they're just tiny, teeny, tiny, and that they're being pounded over and over. Not that that does or doesn't matter, but why even speak and have anything emanate anything beyond the continuance of nothingness? absolutely pathetic. Even the attempts of explanations is absolutely pathetic. Even the desire to try and inform and to warn is absolutely pathetic. And every single attempt that will ever be ever explained throughout history shall ever forever be pathetic, disgusting, lame, and negative, and pathetic, and minuscule. Every single one of them. Every single one of them. Every single one of them. All five. All five of them. All five of them. Just freaking, it's like, I don't even think idiocy is a strong enough word. And I definitely don't think that lack of education is a strong enough word. Of the eminence that seems to, the eminence of the nothingness that radiates from their mouth. The nothingness. The ridiculousness. And then for my whole undivided attention and effort to try and listen to what they're saying, and to like watch and to like, be watching. I didn't watch them the whole video. Apparently, I was busy doing other things, trying to be engaged in life and trying to listen to them all intently. And you know what happened? I know exactly what happened. I know exactly what happened. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. It seems like the more they're saying, the more they discuss, the more attempts of conversation, the more attempts of movement, of flinching, of reaching, of intent of discovering more intel, of searching through the internet, of asking questions, of purposely asking questions, of trying to engage in more curiosity, and trying to gauge curiosity in the first place, and trying to gauge interest, and trying to gauge a measure of ideology, and trying to gauge some sense of focus. Every single twitch, every single mutter, and every single inhalation, every single breath is pointless, is useless, and is the culmination of what they are, which is absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. And it's not unfortunate. It's not exciting. It's not charismatic. It's not joyful. It's not exciting. It's not emotionalful. It's nothing. It is absolutely nothing. And it's so true. And it's so true that it's absolutely nothing, that they're not even able to explain it. And it's not the fact that they're not able to explain what nothingness is, and the fact that they can't even have a word that escapes their mouth, and that they can't even attempt to reach up, and that they can't even know what a knowingness of discovering what something that would even receive an inkling, and then the discovery of everything that also proceeds from the mouth is in even deeper scale of nothingness and emptiness. It seems like it's almost important that they should discover what it means to be absolutely nothing. And what drive exists in any cell in their body? What drive exists for them to sort of pursue any sort of avenue and any sort of pathway and any sort of gateway or any sort of attempt in discovery? What happens when there are attempts of continuing this sort of understanding or lack of understanding of whatever they're trying to perceive, and whatever they're trying to engage in, whatever they're trying to pursue, and whatever they consider an occupation, a title, a lifestyle, a life, or even a way of life? What even happens when they move? What even happens when they consider about thinking of moving? Thinking about moving an arm or moving a leg or moving their body, looking one direction, looking another direction, looking one way, looking up, looking down, left and right, side to side. What does it even matter? What does it even seem to matter? It seems that there is the absolute essence of the discovery of nothingness and the actual sense of deepness and just what nothingness means. Where is the joy in discovering that perhaps they do not even communicate to one another? At what point is there the discovery that a podcast is a podcast, or that media is media? At what point is it discovered that there's something that allows them to not even have a word escape their mouth? What is that the whole? Is that the whole like main goal of the entire session? All five of them just communicating with one another, talking about absolutely nothing. Literally, non-communication is occurring. Literally, no body language and no verbal communication occurred at all. Nothing. It was the perfect example of what it means to be someone who's nothing. It is a perfect example of what it means to attempt to reach and to have some blazing tenacity and blazing desire, and yet to achieve absolutely nothing. To achieve emptiness, to achieve failure, and to achieve a complete lack of success. To successfully achieve a complete lack of success. To successfully achieve failure in every single way possible. It is the culmination of nothingness that exists in the potentialities of what could and couldn't be the possibilities of what they shall not ever know through the discovery and attempt of discovery of knowledge. And what is knowledge? Something that they're not privy to? Something that they're not aware of? Something that they do wish to know and attempt and scramble and squirm? Squirm, what a good word. Squirming. And you know, of course it's not squirming. It's an insult to squirms. Not that even squirms are a real thing. Not that judging is even a real thing. And not that judging based upon appearances is a real thing. And I'm not judging based on appearances. But not that there isn't squirming, but not that there isn't squirming. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's very lame, it's very pathetic. And, you know, ridiculous is not a strong enough word. It is the practice, it is the culmination, and it is the arthood of nothingness. What is so exciting about the lame, cop-out, pathetic, just overly pathetically lame attempt to try and even perceive reality? What is this absolute failure attempt of trying to perceive reality from their own perspective? What is the reach and the desire to fail so massively, to fail so strongly, to be such an example of patheticness that the opportunity for more degradation is abundant for all? It is there, and it's not even that it even has the ability to get away or the ability to run away. It is not even the fact that it's stuck and unable to move, and it's not even the fact that it is unable to reveal and to explain how ridiculously frantic it is, and how pathetically frantic it looks, and how it is perceived from eyeballs, from vision, and from existence. It is the absolute epitome of lameness, of nothingness, and it's absolutely. It's not even insulting. It's not even unencouraged. It's not even educational. It's not even. It's not even exciting. It's not even intuitive. It's not even. It's scattered. It's scrambly, and there's movements, and they trip, and they fall, and they trip over their words, over their legs, over their life, over their reachings. They skip, and they skip, and they trip, and they stumble over, and over, and over again. And they continue to stumble, and they continue to falter, and they continue to scramble and reach out to everything that they can to try and hold themselves up. To try isn't that interesting? To try and hold themselves up. The attempts of reaching at something that is not even non-reachable. It is literally the witnessing of watching the ridiculous scrambling in darkness due to the fact of incapability and due to the fact of just inherent, innate patheticness and just nothingness, and just the fact that it's so tiny and so uneducational to witness and to be a part of. It is a diabolical revelation of form. It is a diabolical revealing of the true nature. It is the most disgraceful and most pathetic attempt at life. What's amazing is the absolute regard and absolute belief in some sort of inkling of an idea of what it means to be involved in some sort of activity that they are not even privy to. Five people have no idea how amazing it looks to watch this squandering, the squabbling, and even the bickering that is occurring because of the absolute pathetic emanation and the absolute pathetic excuse to continue life and to continue to thrive in their understanding of thriving in life based upon the perception of what it means to be involved in their perception of excuse for being volumic, for being loud, for increasing the volume, increasing the level of music, cranking up from 10 to 11, and then from 11 to 12, and then from 12 to 13. To try and turn up the amp, to try and raise the volume, to try and bring the microphone closer to the voice box. The attempt to do all these many things to emanate this excuse, and not only the excuse, but the defense of a loud vocal voice, a loud vocal presence, and a loud vocal existence. Loud intentions, loud beingness, loud jobs, loud professions, loud examples, and loud excuses. The extreme attempt of the most pathetic utilization of excuse that could possibly be known to creation. The most what's the word? The most demeaning representation of the human collective, the most demeaning representation of creation and form, the most demeaning attempt to even reach something that they shall not and will not, and from their own choices and their own intentions will not ever understand, and to succumb to nothingness due to the desire of discovering that within themselves they agree that they do not have what it takes, that they do not have an inkling of desire to be committed, and that they do not have an inkling of belief to be engaged, and to even be not only a human being, but even be an example to others, and to take it so far as to be committed and to be an example to other beings, to express this incredibly negligent, ignorant profession of ignorance. This absolute, committed, educational definition, explanation, and professing ignorance, idiocy, and the continued repeating of the same cyclical lifestyles that is toxic, poisonous, and degradative to everything around them. Not only to everything around them, but to those very 5 beings they were communicating to the very vessels, to the very cells that vibrate to the response of one another. The very cells that are alive and that are breathing and that are emanating any form of attempt to continue to stay alive. From deep within, they confess their ignorance and continue to falter in their own ignorance, and not only continue to falter and to evolve into a culture of faltering, but to agree in ignorance and to agree with the discovery of ignorance and portrayal and the revelation of their scale of ignorance, their scale, their depth of ignorance. It was not just an explanation, a little taste here and there, a little dab over here, a little finger into the water over here, a little toe into the ocean over there. No. A scale, a ladder, a building, a planet, a consciousness, a whole depth, a whole smorgasbord, a whole gathering, a plethora, a mosh pit, a mosh pit of ignorance, and a continued acceleration and advocation of the mosh pit of ignorance, and the continued failure to believe in excuses for what they believe is virtuous in their own ignorance. Virtuous based upon their own experiences of failure. Ignorance based upon their own experiences of nothingness, of emptiness. And to consistently and to continuously agree to live in a world that shall continue to believe in their ignorance and their faltering and their ridiculousness. And to believe not only in the discovery of their ignorance between those 5, but the discovery of just how horrible and just how minuscule that they actually feel inside. And that's something for them to discover. And that's something that they shall know through all of eternity. And that is an eternal fact. That is an eternal truth. Forever. They shall be aware of what they realize to be the absolute palpable entity of ignorance actually lives and flourishes within them. Not only does that active ability of ignorance flourish in them, they cannot wait to pass on the virus to someone else, to something else. The joy of discovering what it means to trap someone else in ignorance. The thrill of discovering how much potential can be achieved from scrambling up the sheer vertical cliff that seems to have no top. Scraping their nails, engaging in more pain, deciding that they wish to engage in more suffering due to the negligence of the recognition of their own ignorance that is in the vibration that they wish to instill within their own entity, and to flourish in this entity, and to flourish in this eternal mosh pit of ignorance and deception and lies until there's nothing left to do except express the ignorance of the belief that they strive for in the first place. And what is the result? The result is success. The result is that they are able to achieve everything that exists within them. They're able to achieve every single desire that exists within their hearts, within their bodies, and within their whole belief of ignorance. They discover and attract to them so intensely. And they have such a strong desire just between the conversation that's happening in front of the microphone that they will reach externally for what is already within them. And it is the infinite, eternal discovery of the infinite, eternal ignorance that they wish to degrade, to vibrate, and to live at. And it is not just living. And it's not just personification. It is the yelling, the squealing, the squirming, and the pitiful expression of failure. The pitiful expression of ignorance. And the perfect example of the living entity and the living being that lives within them. That not just lives within some of them, not just one or two or three, not just four, not just five, but the living entity, the living being that lives in all of them, that tells them, this is who you are. This is who you want to be. This is how much you believe in me. And this is how much attraction that you wish to reach for externally. That is what is there for you. That is how much you desire to reach for what you search for. That is how much desire you have to reach for your ignorance, for your mosh pit of ignorance, for your gathering of pity, of lameness, of attempts to believe in a scale of understanding, depth, and creativity, and evolution, and success. In the amazing explanation of faltering, not only as it gets passed around from one person to the next, 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 but how not even a word has to escape their mouths before they try to escape from themselves, before they try to scramble and scream and involve their body and their whole being intently into what they really wish to achieve. And what do they really wish to achieve that they so obviously show? They want to achieve what is already inside of them. And they want it so badly, they will show you. They will educate you. They will express how something that can happen in a lifetime is something that can be so punctual, so absolute, and so fixed in their minds that they will express the fact that they are not ignorant. They will express the fact that they are the truth and that they are telling the truth. They will tell you, this is who I am. This is who I have become. And this is who I will always be. They will teach you. They will embody. And they will express emotions, examples, give testimonies with all of their heart, all of their mind, not to profess what is within them, but to profess their ignorance in their very lame attempts into discovering what they know absolutely nothing about. In their reach for knowledge, for true, genuine knowledge, they succumb to the greatest mosh pit of ignorance that has ever existed in all of creation. And to be the fine, brilliant, shining examples for all to witness, for all to see, and for all to enjoy. The desire to not only become further submerged in ignorance, and further submerged in degradation and ridiculousness, and to continue to enjoy in the wallowing, but to discover that there are those that they now perceive to also be wallowing, to be succumbed in this mosh pit of ignorance, and to be engaged to the fullest extent of what it means to be at a loud level. As far as they understand, what they ask, they shall receive. What they wish to know, they shall have. Completely. As a matter of fact, they shall have it so completely that they shall cherish it, and they shall be in joy. and they shall have children, and they shall have many fun events and family events with these children, and with themselves, and they shall enjoy the amazingness of life, of performance, of music, of elegance, of culture. They shall learn, they shall teach, they shall be the shining, brightly, brilliantly shining example of the height of media, the height of music, the height of strength, the height of manliness, the height of manhood, the height of leadership, the height of respect, and the height of honor. They shall experience all those things. They shall cherish all those things, and they shall love to be embodied in the body. And oh yes, they shall experience all the material senses. They shall be aware of the city of nine gates, and they shall be informed about how creative and how potentially amazing that they actually are. They shall discover how much power they have. They shall discover how much control they have, and they will be in tune with the reality of what it may or may not be to be a part of something that they may or may not understand. They shall know more than others, and they shall be aware of knowledge, and they shall be allowed to engage and disengage whenever they want. They are allowed to profess their free will, to allow free will, and to continue to exist with their own free will. They're allowed to be ignorant. They're allowed to be fulfilled. They're allowed to express and to be directors and to be great beings, and they're allowed to express and be the truth of who they are. They're allowed to be who they want to be, and to be as amazingly loud as they want, and as amazingly progressive and professive as they are. They're allowed to truly achieve and discover the secrets of what they asked for in the first place. Not only shall they receive it, but they shall own it. They shall keep it, and it shall be theirs forever and for all eternity. That is their desire. That is their goal. That is their wish. It is not my desire to not only fulfill their quests and to fulfill their requests and to fulfill their missions. It is my desire to be a full commitment. It is my desire to answer every question and to give my every fiber of my being and to discover how much it really means to me. How much it means to me to hear their words. How much it means to me to hear about what they speak of so dearly. About their podcasts, about their music, about their understandings of the different natures of dreams, of marketing, the different desires and connections of cultures, of what they attempt to be understandings of bars and drinkings and other countries' cultures. They shall, yes, indeed, they shall be cultured. They shall be aware and made aware, and they shall be informed. And I am just a simple being, whose own ignorance is made clear and plain for them to see. Not only that they can see it, but they shall profess it. And they shall teach it to themselves. They shall teach it to one another. Not only as connected beings, but as a family, as a group, as individuals, and as friends. They shall profess this truth of what they see from what they understand and their complete understanding of secrets and their complete understanding of knowledge, which is theirs for the taking. They understand that there's no inhibitions. They understand that they have free will, and they understand that there's nothing holding them back, and that there's nothing that wants to hold them back. There is no rule that says they cannot be engaged in the activities that they're engaged in. There is no rule that says that they are not allowed to be engaged in renunciation of what they're engaged in. There is no limiting reality that tries to control what they do. And there is no reality that tries to control what they don't do. Everything that they wish to receive, and everything that they ask for, shall be given to them. So intently does it seem that the desire to be engaged in this new level of communication is prevalent and inherent and present for them. So deeply and so intently is their desire to be the best, to do the best that they can, to not repeat previous life cycles and past lives, to not be harmful, to be healing, to engage in peace, to engage in prosperity and abundance, and to engage in the positive welfare of other beings. Indeed, they do wish to bring the best out of them from deep within. They do not only express this truth in the eyes of all, but to the eyes of the being that is within them. They believe so intently that they are resolute, that they are creative, and that they are committed to being the best possible being that they could possibly be, and being aware of their reality and their surroundings, and being aware of the emotions and the minds and the hearts of others, and being aware of the vibration of excellence and energy emanation that emanates from them at all times. To discover how much inspiration they have instilled in other beings, and how much life they have instilled in one another, and how much life they have instilled in their kin. The truth of success and love and bliss is evident in every fiber of their body, in every fiber in the air that exists between them, and in every understanding of spiritual physics, which is to be understood and yet to be understood between them. In this new discovery and revelation of social science, in this new discovery of science, in this new realm of positivity and action, and this new art form that they so deeply and desiredly speak of. And what of this art form do they wish to know? What of this art form do they wish to scale? How deep do they truly wish to know the truth of the art form of which they receive? The art form in which they ask for, which is so presently living, so presently existent, so presently alive. How much discovery do they wish to receive in terms of how much they wish to inspire the being that lives within them? How much resoluteness exists in their bodies that they believe they can emanate from within them to the external reality that they so cherish, that they so love, that they so respect? What brings them to a level of such absolute ignorance that they are falteringly succumbing to their own habits of greatness that has been built within their own system of understanding based upon their own belief of achievements. Perhaps they are receiving more wisdom from their own discoveries of achievement. The amazingness of the shifting from one hand gesture to the other, from one conversation to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next. From one breath to the next breath, the inhalation to the exhalation, the unity in the process of discovering how connected we truly are, the discovery of really discovering how much it means to them to emanate the type of life they emanate, the desire to be in the role of directorship and to be a director and to be a leader, not only in the understanding of what their perception previously was, currently is, and will be, but my perception of what it was, what it is, and what it will be. Their perception of what it means to be a director or a director is enlightening to what it means to me to be a director. The amazing scale of reach that they have throughout the country touches the minds of those who are in Alaska, were in the military, who are in the military, and who will be in the military. The discovery of what it means to be the vocal emanation of greatness within them, within others, and within all. The discovery of the greatness that they know is there for them in security, without any ill will being portrayed to them, is present. Not only in bits and moments, but for all time. For all of eternity. They won't be harmed. They won't be attacked. They won't be mutilated. They won't be killed. They won't be murdered. They won't be maimed or undergoing any form of pain to their body, to their vessel, or to their inner being. They shall receive healing. And not only receive healing, but be able to administer and exemplify this healing power that is within them from what they understood has always been within them, as what they understand is always within them and can keep within them for all times. Perhaps the understanding of what their level and scale of loud music is, was, and will be, shall be the scale of what loud music is, was, and shall be. Inspiration is designed. Inspiration is created. They are creators, and they are emanating their beingness as creators to their fullest capacity, with the understanding of who I am, who I was, and who I could be. Not only who they were, who they are, and who they could be, but who they were, who they are, and who they could be. And the expression of who I was, who I am, who I could be, shall be inspired by the music that I wish to create, that I wish to personify, that I wish to understand, from my own understanding of what they are, what they can be, and what they were. Perhaps I am to learn from their example of how much they exemplify the love of who they are, who they will be, and who they were. Perhaps I can learn that I can be a musician. I can create music. And I can perform music in the same scale as they were, as they are, and as they could be, from who they wish to become, from who they wish to emanate, and how significantly they embody the being within themselves. I wish to personify that. I wish to live in that. I wish for that so dearly. I want it with all my heart. I want it with all my spirit. I want it for all my soul. I wish to achieve what inspiration is also within me. I wish to achieve that inner greatness as they have exemplified from their shining brilliance. I wish to know more about what exists within me that seems to have this very loud emanation that they believe in and cherish so and believe in and cherish so much. Oh, how I wish to know. Oh, how I wish to know. As a matter of fact, so perfect is their intelligence, so perfect is their belief, so perfect is their scale of understanding, so perfect is their wish to manifest, and so perfect is their scale of loudness and desire to be a part of something that they have no idea and have no understanding about. So perfect is their understanding that they shall know it completely, and it shall be theirs. The discoveries of what they wish to achieve in terms of the media that they attract to them, and they shall achieve. It shall have been achieved in the past, in the present, and in the future. The movies that they saw are able to be achieved in the past, in the present, and the future. The music that they wrote and wish to create shall be present in the past, in the present, and in the future. Their eternal being shall shine brightly for all to see in the past, in the present, and in the future. They are allowed to express how much they love themselves, how much they love one another, and they're allowed to express their depth of ignorance and how much they believe they're truly engaged in life, fulfilling a certain quality that has been learned from within them, that is learned from one another, and that is learned from me. The scale of discovery that I wish to achieve as a being who leads by example has created the greatest example of those who they are, who they want to lead, as the leaders as they are, who have many to lead, who have many to consider, who have many to follow, who have many followers, who have many believers, who have many beings who are devoutly dedicated to their dedication in all mind, heart, body, and soul. Their attempts to reach higher and higher planes, higher and higher planets, higher and higher existences of living, that is their desire. That is their wish. That is their goal. That is their hunger. That is what they wish to achieve. That is what their desire is. That is what they want. They express the loudness that I express as the original source. Therefore, as the original source, they must know that I must be the one who emanates all the loudness, all the vibrational echoes, all the screams, and all the things that are and all the things that aren't. I am the one who is the origin of all things. I am the one who is the original source. I am the origin. I am the source. I am the one who they mimic. I am the one who they copy. I am the one who they pretend to be. They are the pretenders. I am the original. They are the fakes. I am the reality. They are the falsities. I am the truth. They are the lies. I am the hard facts and the truth. They are the falsities, the lies, the ignorance, the stupidities, and I am the greatness, the truth, the honor, the brilliance, the emanation. They are the imperfections, the patheticness, the failures. I am the success, the dream, the model, the original. I am all things. They are nothing. They are the pathetic, lowest of the low. I am on high. I am perfection. I am the best. And so it is, and so it was, and so it shall always be. I am the one who is the original creator of the original truth. They are the professors of the truth that they see and learn from me. They are the witnesses. They are the watchers. They are the learners. I am the creator. I am the original. I am the center. I am the first source. I am the first. I am the perfection. They are the imperfections. They are the impurities. They are the faults. They are the minuscule attempts of success, the minuscule and pathetic attempts of life, and they are the minuscule attempts of flourishing in their lifestyles and in their lives. They are secondary. I am primary. They are not as important as me. I am the most important. I am most important. I am forever eternally important, and forever in their eyes, and in their hearts, and in their minds, and in their souls. I shall be perceived, and I shall be perceived as perfect, undying, unyielding, and flawless in everything that I do. In every movement, in everything I write, in everything I say, everything I sing, everything I create is perfect. Everything that I wish to design, everything that comes from me, and everything that exists within me is perfect. I emanate the example of fulfillment. I emanate the perfection of love, and I emanate the perfection of the Creator in all of creation, because the Creator is thy one, and is thy one who created me, for I am perfect, and I am in the action and the being of being perfect. Now what does it mean, this Avatar movie that was so professed by these beings, these five? What does it mean to watch this Avatar movie, the Na'vi? How sincere were their attempts in understanding what it means to be an Avatar? How much do they look up to the Avatar? How much do they desire to know what it means to be an Avatar from someone else's perspective? Do they understand from the eyes of children and the minds and hearts of children? Do they desire and have creativity in the minds and hearts of themselves as they are, even when they were children, becoming adults? Do they wish to desire what it means to be an Avatar and have all the connections and desires and beingness that the Avatar has? Do they wish to create movies like the Avatar? Or do they wish to have the connections that the Avatar has? At what scale is their understanding and their belief and their desire to exist in a life, or even to submit to a life that is perfectly elevated and evolved in a scale and a level of connection to nature, such as the Avatar? What is their desire to speak the language of Navi? Do they believe that they can create and manifest something like that? Do they believe that connection already exists? Do they believe that all things are connected? Do they believe in that giant mother tree? Do they believe in the Avatar? Do they believe in Avatar consciousness? Do they believe that there is an Avatar present on Earth at this moment? Do they believe that there is a being that is able to embody the greatness of what it means to be an Avatar? Not only in the movie, but also in real life. And not only the movie of the Four Elements, but in real life of the Four Elements. Is there some type of connection that they wish to instill? Is there a goal that they're desiring to reach? Is there a desire that they wish to achieve from within themselves, from what they can discover to what it means to be an Avatar? How much do they really believe in music? How much do they believe in trains and in the train tracks that they so greatly personify? How much do they believe in the train system, the train systems that exist today from their own understandings? How much do they believe in the creational aspect of the train systems? How much do they wish to know and understand in their scale of understanding what it means to be involved in trains? How do they think they live in their form of perception of how to be with someone or how to not be with someone? Do they believe that they can achieve the same relationship that already exists, that's untouchable, unknowable, and only true to the ones that know it? Do they believe that they can have the same connection and communication at the scale that already exists, has existed, is existing, and shall always exist? Do they really wish to know? Do they want to know the truth? Do they wish to achieve what they already know deep inside them is available to them due to the fact that they wish to sink and submerge and invest in ignorance? Do they wish to so deeply, innately, and so intently be involved in the maiming, harm, negativity, and destruction of the human body? Do they wish to know the scale of greatness, the scale of glory? Do they wish to know what it means to be engaged in train work, in building transportation systems, in understanding the train systems that exist and have existed, the trains that were, that are, and that will be? Do they wish to know all about how intense the impact is from trains? Do they wish to know the scale of the importance of not only what it means to make a dream, but to achieve a dream, to fulfill a dream, and to live out a dream? Do they wish to know? Do they wish to know with all their heart, with all their mind, with all their soul? Are they willing to travel? Do they know what travel is? What it's like to be in the airports, to be on a plane? Do they know what it's like to be on tour, to be on a bus? Do they truly desire to be committed in everything that they do? And are they aware that there's many that look up to them, that listen to them, that are committed to them, that believe in them? Are there those that believe and the consistencies in the dream world, in the spiritual realm, that they so believe the avatar to be connected to? Do they desire to be musicians that have such an amazing impact and fan connection that it impacts all of reality and impacts and changes and makes history? Do they wish to continue to be the writers of history, the makers of history? Do they wish to know how much inspiration they instill, being hardworking dreamers, believers? Do they wish to be aware of their own consciousness, of their own greatness, of their own creatorship, and of their own ability to be involved in making the new forms of movies, new forms of media, and the podcasts as they understand it and as they teach? Are they learning from all generations about the greatness that they've instilled within themselves? Have they learned about the joy that they receive when they express the courage of what it's like to be fearless in taking the steps and explaining the exponential glory that exists from the loud echoings and belief that exists in the understandings of loudness and vocal loudness? Do they wish to be engaged in such activities as to what their knowledge is already aware of and privy to? Do they care so intently to be involved in such amazing greatness that they commit their whole hearts, minds, and bodies to such efforts? Are they aware that they are being watched at all times? That they have fans and that their glory follows them everywhere they go? Are they aware of the witnessing of the greatness that is achieved in movies, in discoveries, in archaeology, in science, that they have achieved by themselves alone? Do they believe in their collaboration abilities? Do they understand the amazing culture of drinking? The discovery of drinking, the reaching of different places around the planets, the discovering of scales which have never been reached before, the reaching of new heights, the reaching of heights that have already been reached by those who have gone before them, the discovery of what it really means to be free, and the potential of the greatness of discovering the essence of the forefathers, the perfection of liberty and freedom, the perfection of life and beauty. Do they wish to know? Do they wish to know the amazingness and the joy that is inherent in many? Do they wish to be involved in the groupthink, in the group mentality that comes with life and fun and joy? Do they wish to be involved in the bliss, creativity, and perfection for all to see, for all to watch, and for all to witness? Are they daring? Are they fearless? Are they daring and fearless enough to be continuously engaged in any possible activities that may be or may not be involving many different types of dangerous engagements, dangerous trades, dangerous knowledge, dangerous truths? Are they willing to risk their lives? Are they willing to go through pain? Are they willing to endure suffering? Are they willing to achieve greatness that achieves and exists within them, from being brave, from understanding the depth of the amount of risk that truly exists and the danger that's been present in other countries and in this country? Do they wish to know the scale of depth and of greatness that exists from being courageous when it comes to drugs, when it comes to hardcore drugs, when it comes to heroin and cocaine? Do they wish to know the deepness of how truly integrated transportation and drugs is? And nowadays, do they wish to know how much it means to be a being who's engaged in farms, in fields, and in people who will do anything during those times of plants engaging in those fields and those substances? Can they handle the beings that are around the substances? Can they be responsible and respectful to those experiences involving those drugs, those heroin supplies? Are they aware of the scale of exactly how much and for how many years the trade has been going on? Do they desire to be engaged in the next level of understanding of the Afghanistan fields and the planes that are involved, that were involved, that will be involved? Do they wish to know the scale of how much perception they wish to achieve in terms of how courageous they are and how loud they wish to become? Do they understand the importance of what they desire and the importance of life that revolves around these drugs? Do they know that there are those who are willing, or not only willing to lose their lives, but who have lost their lives to these drugs and to these drugs alone? Do they know the connection between the human being, the transportation systems, and the very ground itself? Do they wish to discover the deep intentness and connectiveness that all living things have to human beings, to planes, and to these drugs? Is there really desire for involvement in massive quantities, massive quantities of people, massive quantities of substance, massive quantities of understanding and management involved in such scale activities, events, projects, and commitments and engagements? Are they willing to engage in the danger? Are they willing to be the best of the best? Or are they willing to lead by someone else's example and follow in someone else's footsteps? Do they believe that that greatness is already within them? Or are they just following orders from someone else? Are they just listening to everything else, just echoing everything that exists in the cosmos, in the universe, and on the planet Earth? Are they just regurgitating information and not knowing the importance of the information that they speak? Are they aware of the effect and the reaction and the response that shall occur on the scale that they wish to engage in from what they speak of and what they're knowing and learning about? Do they wish to engage in danger? Do they wish to engage in the understanding of deeper knowledge and the knowing of the impact that such things have on people? Do they really wish to know Do they truly understand? Do they truly have the elegance of being the one who can express in a loud vocal voice what it means to be involved in such danger? Do they wish to be involved in such dangerous engagements that perhaps myself will believe in what they do? That perhaps myself will believe in what they can become? And that I believe that I could become something great, and perhaps something greater? Do I believe that I can keep up with the speed, and the greatness, and the austerity, and the power that they have? Do I want to be like them, and aspire to be fearless, courageous, and to speak without seemingly having any consequence from anything around me? Am I willing to be brave on that level of what they are doing, of what they're becoming, and of who they were? Am I able to be responsible and respectful and as awake as they are? Am I able to engage in dreams as well as they are engaged in dreams? And how well they perform their music, their musicians, their writings, and their travels? Are they aware in the consciousness that exists on the East Coast and in the subway train systems? Are they aware of the greatness that exists in their own hearts and minds as they engage with the rest of humanity that continues to evolve and progress and move and to elevate and ascend regardless of what they say and what they don't say? Am I allowed to be engaged in the doctorship and in the medical science of what they understand in terms of medicine and drugs such as ketamine and methadone? Am I to be aware of the scale of feeling that exists from that energy, from that high? Am I allowed to know and be aware of what ketamine is, and as they perceive it, or as they want to perceive it, or as they want me to perceive it? As they were performing the podcast, is it fair that I'm allowed to perform my own action and duties through my own place of living and setting and movements as I move about in my area that I consider the area that I move about in? Am I allowed to demonstrate, to express myself, to be creative, to be responsible, to be free, to be liberated? Is the example by these five, the three sitting across from Joe Rogan, and the one sitting right next to Joe Rogan, and the sixth, the one sitting on the other side of Joe Rogan? Am I allowed to watch the same videos that they watch? Am I allowed to speak of the same things that they speak about? Am I allowed to be that in tune with myself? Am I allowed to believe that all those things already exist within me? Am I allowed to be the greatest person that I can be from my own example? Am I allowed to be the greatest person I can be from their example? From the ignorance that they express within their own selves? Can I be the greatness that they echo? Can I be the greatness that they personify in terms of loudness and perfection? Can I discover that within myself? Is that who I am? Is that a part of me? Or am I fooled? Am I ignorant? Am I nothing? Am I unaware of the greatness that already exists within me due to the many things that I wish to engage my senses in? Am I distracted by my senses? Am I removed and separated from the world due to my senses? Am I engaged in material possessions and into the material mire of reality? Am I engaged fully in material existence and have all my attention focused on material substances? Am I a material being who worships material items and materials, who lives only through pleasing the senses and wishes to please the senses everywhere I go, at all times? Do I just live blindly, foolishly, and ridiculously, as I just believe in all the senses and believe that is the best way to live? And know not that there may be a cliff in front of me as I sprint forward in life, using only my senses of sight, smell, hearing, and taste, and touch? Am I engaged in such activities to be fully engaged in only my senses, so that I am committed to a life of ridiculousness and non-growth and non-success? Do I believe that I can just prattle and wave my arms about and scream in loud voices and shout and lose all control because I believe so deeply in the senses that I have? Do I only use my 5 senses? Do I ignore intelligence and my soul? Do I only wish to achieve the things that please my senses and not engage in the rewarding reality that those 6 have so greatly personified? Are they expressing the greatness that already exists within me, and I'm ignoring them as they show all the positive things? Are they expressing all the positive things in my life, and I choose to focus on my external reality instead of my internal reality? Do I believe in my external reality and what they want me to be more than I believe I can be myself because of who they already see in me, who they already saw in me, who they see me becoming? Do I wish to be something that is not as great as I am, as I attempt to please them in my own misunderstandings of who they are, and I wish to become them in my own misunderstandings of who they are? Do I wish to be the best person I can be by listening to them with all my heart, with all my soul, and all my mind, and ignore their advice and teachings and experience as beings who have wisdom and intelligence and experience? Do I wish to ignore the reality and the potential that they see within me? Am I engaged in music in a degradative level because I wish to achieve what they understand music to be? Do I wish to follow and listen to music that other people create, instead of listening to my own music? Do I wish to experience music from other people's minds, from other people's hearts, and other people's experiences, and other people's leadership? What does music mean to me in their eyes? Is that what music is? Is music the expression of what existence is to the wisdom that's already been present on earth, in their hearts and in their minds, and in their families, and in their tours? Do they see the greatness in me and are honorably expressing that greatness and respect on a very deep level that I'm not privy to because I'm engaged deeply in the senses, in the material senses, and the material possessions? Am I so engaged in material life that I completely ignore the spiritual aspect that they see so greatly within me? Am I living a spiritual life that's devoid of spirit? Am I unengaged with life due to my ignorance that I personify in my understanding of music? Do I consistently strive and to achieve to go down a path that they personify in terms of what music should be in their eyes? Are they learning about music from what I personified as what music can be? Are they learning about bands? Are they learning about records and money from what I understand music, records, and money to be? Do they care about money? Do they want money? Are they professing a deep respect for money? Do they care about making money in terms of how much money they can make for their music and the effort that they put in to making money in their music? Do they know the impact that they could have when they give their all? Do they give their all in their musical aspects and in their bands and in their connectivities? Do they communicate with one another in terms of what music means to them, deep within them? Have they developed wisdom in their past? Do they currently have wisdom? Do they plan to enjoy and incur more wisdom in their lives? Do they wish to achieve success in this life and the next? Do they wish to leave a lasting legacy and to make history with music? Do they wish to go beyond the norm? Do they wish to have others say what they should do and how they should perform their music and how much money they should make through their music? Do they wish to follow the old paradigm of music creating and record making and record managers and music managers? Do they wish to have their own scale of music that they learned in terms of making money? Do they wish to learn from me in terms of how they can make money through music? Are they learning from my example? Are they learning from me as to the impact that music can have and how much money they can make? Do they desire to make money? Is that their true focus? Is that their true intent? Are the people that they work with only focused about money? Or are they only focused on the music? Does the music come from within them? Or does it come from external reality? Are they swayed by their fans and by those that follow them and those that listen to their music? Do they believe in those that listen to their music? And do they believe in the creator aspect of their music? Do I believe in the creative aspect of my music? Do I believe that my music is great? And do I believe that my music is powerful? Do I believe that my music has an impact? And do I believe that I can make a lot of money through my music? Do I believe that I should listen to others in terms of record managers and how they only care about making money and how it's all about money and making more and more money? Do I wish to engage in such activities such as drug trade, in which is all it's about money? It's all about money. Drug trade is all about money. Do I wish to engage in some reality that it's all about money? Do I wish to engage in a reality that's all about achieving more money and getting more money? Am I all about saying no to a reality that doesn't achieve as much money as I could achieve? Do I want more money than those that say I should receive a certain amount of money? Am I only receiving the amount of money that others say that I should receive? Am I only doing the will of others? Am I only following orders and instructions in terms of how much money I should make when it comes to music? Am I following new traditions in the music world? Am I following old traditions in the music world? Do I believe that I can be inspired by the music that they can make? How much money is involved in the music business in terms of the full fulfillment, that music that they wish to achieve, and the full heartiness that they wish to achieve? Do they tour? Do they go on buses? they travel in planes and arrive at airports? Are they aware of the reality and the effect and the congestion that exists in transportation today? The urgency of airports, the urgency of planes, the urgency of scheduling, and the eagerness to go from one place to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next place? Do they truly wish to travel to Japan and to learn about the culture and to drink what they drink and know what they know and learn what they learn? Do they truly want to be in the East Coast and discover the culture that is there and be aware of the East Coast culture and engaged in the East Coast culture? It seems that there seems to be an absolute focus and regard for life in terms of what they understand life to be and what they understand their purpose to be for me. They're the ones who control me. They're the ones who have a say-so in what I do in my life. They're the ones who control every aspect of my life. They're the ones who say what is to be and what isn't to be. They're the ones who fully control my music and my fan base. They're the ones that tell me how much money I should make. They're the ones that lead me and inspire me to do the video broadcasts. They're the ones that tell me what to do and what to say in my YouTube streams, YouTube accounts, YouTube videos, I mean. They're the ones who are in charge of my life. They're my rulers. They tell me what to do, and I listen and I obey. I must not do anything else other than obey, because they are my masters. They are my rulers. I am to obey them in every single word, every single instance, and every single breath. I am to be committed to them. I am to give my whole life, my whole body, my whole spirit to their endeavor, to their journey, to their dedication, to their purpose. I am to commit myself so dearly to everything that I say that I must continuously work relentlessly hard to be the best that I can be, not to myself, but to them. I need to be the best that I can be in their eyes, and only in their eyes shall I be the best that I can be to them. And I shall continue to obey everything that they say and everything that they do, and fulfill their every want. I am the one who has an example of expression, of music, of speaking, of culture, and I must obey and follow directions for what they say, because that is who I am. I am the one who follows them, who listens to their every word. I am the one who is obedient to them. That is how it is. That is the truth. That is who I may be. That's who I must be. That's who I must maintain. And that's who I may be, because they say it is so, and it is so. And that is the truth. That is the whole truth. And that is nothing but the truth. They are the absolute truth. I am not the absolute truth. They are perfection. I am far from perfection. They are everything in my life, and I am nothing to myself. I have yet to understand the glories that are within me. They understand all the glory that is within me. They understand all the greatness that I am to personify, because they are the creators. They are the perfect ones. They are the leaders. I must obey their every command, because I am less than. They are more than me. They are perfect. They are gods. They are perfect in music, in courage, in bravery, in work. They are the greatest leaders of all time. They make history. They are the writers of history. They are the best of the best. in terms of new age combat. They're engaged in art forms and of their own scale and of their own making than I can never hope to achieve. Their greatness is so great that I shall always be outshined. I shall always be outmatched, and I shall always be outworked, and my art forms shall never compare to their art forms, and their art form understanding is on a scale that I may never reach. It is on a scale that I may never understand, and unless I am completely obedient to them, I shall never understand, because I am limited in thinking. I have confined thinking. I have boxed thinking. My mental box and my mental form of thinking is tiny. I only exist in a little square, and I never move outside of that square. My art form is plain and bland. Their art form is creative and immense. My art form is minuscule, tiny, and insignificant. Their art form creates armies and builds generations and creates worlds and planets and civilizations. Their art form advances and inspires civilization and inspires the future generation and leads the way for all beings, young and old, short and tall, large and thin. They are the best. I am the worst. They are the leaders. I am the one who follows. They are the masters of reality. I am the one who is submitting to reality. I am the one who is less than. I am less than great. I am less than perfect. I am less than honest. I am confined, and I am limited, and I live only in a small box. However, they are free. They have no restrictions. They have no boxes. They have no limitations. They're not limited. They're not confined to a small space. They're not restricted. They don't have to follow rules of a certain box that they must stay locked up in, because they're not locked by their own mind. As a matter of fact, they are liberated from their own mind, and they have a free mind and a large heart that emanates music. And they believe in music. They believe in chords, and they believe in strings. And they believe in the courage that is instilled by great leaders and generals. And they do not go against their generals. They believe in their country, and they believe in America. They believe that America is great, and they believe that there's no general that can say the things that the general says that he can do. I am unaware of the general. I am ignorant. They are well versed in the greatness of the American general. They are aware of the amazing quotes that the general personifies. I am not aware. They are informed and grand and wise. I am foolish and unknowing and unaware. They are present in the greatness of leadership that has existed in this country. I am unaware and unfocused and unpresent in the greatness that is current and occurring in this country. Their personification and understanding is to accelerate civilization. And they believe and they strive and they work hard all the time. They are consistently endeavoring and doing all that they can. They don't just put some small effort in and then give up and then move on to the next thing. They are relentless. They are sturdy. And they are willing to listen. I am not willing to listen. I am stubborn. I am alone. I am not one who listens to others. I am not one who's inspired by American values. I am lazy. I am imperfect. They are resilient and brilliant and engaging in all kinds of activities at all times. They are able to do many things at once. They are multitasking at a creator level scale. They are amazing creators. I am just a follower. I am just the one who is simple and alone and confined and limited. I am the one who is limited by his own thinking. And I am unable to achieve the greatness that is always within me. I'm unable to achieve the greatness that they teach and that they show me. I'm incapable of understanding. I'm incapable of belief. My senses have distracted me, and I have gone on the wrong path, and I remain on the wrong path. They do everything they can to assist me, to guide me, to lead me. And I not only ignore them, but I lie to them. I am untruthful, I am unfaithful to them, and I turn them away. I look the other way, and I do everything I can to avoid them. I try to escape. I try to run away. I try to avoid all of reality. I try to avoid everything I can that has to do with the greatness that shines everywhere. Their brilliance is everywhere. Their brilliance reaches through all of eternity and through all space. I cannot hide. I cannot avoid. I must always submit to their greatness and their brilliance, and I shall never hope to achieve or understand the type of brilliance and greatness that they have. For I am minuscule. I am not perfect. I am not as great as I wish to be, because I am limited in thinking, and I live in a box. That box limits me, because I am unable to see beyond. I wish to be more. I wish to learn. I wish to understand. But I cannot learn. I cannot understand. Because I am unable to be conscious of the success that they wish to instill in me. I wish to be foolish. They wish to be great. I choose to be inspired by fools, and by those that are not great, and by those that are lazy, and by those who are uncommitted. I choose to follow the path of non-greatness. I choose to follow the path of patheticness, of ignorance. I choose not to be perfect. They show me what it means to be great. They show me what it means to be amazing in the eyes of God. They teach me. They allow me to grow. They're patient. They're willing. And at the same time, they're relentless in their desire to teach me everything they can about who I can become, about who I was, and about who I am. Yet I do not know, for I do not know, because I do not wish to know. I wish to remain foolish. I wish to remain consistent in the same old consistencies and habits that I keep, and that I entrain, and that I think should hold dear. I have the same habits, moving back and forth, never really going anywhere. I never progress forward. I only stay in one spot. They show me what it means to be the greatness that I am, and I ignore them. They show me what it means to be a great director. They show me what it means to be a great actor and to be a great being, and they teach me. And yet I ignore them. I do my own thing. I go my own way. I try and perform my own techniques, my own status, and my own forms of determining to achieve what I wish to desire. And I am a failure. I do not listen. I do not pay attention. I ignore them. I live in ignorance. And I am unsuccessful because of it. If I listened, and if I had paid attention, perhaps I would learn the lessons and achieve success. However, I wish to walk down the path of darkness instead of the path of light. They are the perfections that exist in all of creation. They are the shining examples of what it means to be a great leader. I chose to ignore myself. I ignore the greatness that is within me as I try to listen to them intently and follow their instruction. I follow them so dearly and so intently that I lose myself in ignorance, and I am lost. Therefore, I remain lost, and I remain unaware of how great I truly am. I remain unaware of what it means to be perfect. I remain unaware of what it means to be a great creator. I will not understand what their meaning or what their deeper meanings are. I don't know what it means to enjoy the culture of Japan and drinking. I do not know what it means to watch the movies that they mentioned. I do not know what it means to cherish the movie Avatar. I do not know what it means to be engaged in that spiritual enlightenment, to communicate like the Navi, and to have relationships like the Navi. I wish to be great, yet I am not. Instead, I choose to respond in fear. I think that the way to live is to point my finger and say that they live in fear. I think that the way to live is to say that they are shaking so uncontrollably that they have no control over their body. I say that they are fools, and that is my own fault. That is my own detriment. I am unable to recognize in them anything other than fear, and therefore I live in fear, and I exist in fear, because I believe that since I point the finger and say that they are shaking uncontrollably and live in fear, I believe that to be the reason that I should also shake uncontrollably and live in fear. And so I listen, and I wait, and I listen to their instructions, and they continue to shake in fear, and I continue to respond to them in fear, and agree that I should live in fear, because that is the way that they respond. That is how their nervous system reacts. That is the wisdom that they portray. That is the wisdom that they personify, to shake their knees that clack together, to chatter their teeth that clack together, to shiver all the way down to the deepest marrow of their bones, to shake and quiver in fear, to not know where to turn, to not know what to say, to not know what to do, to not know how to live, to not know how to breathe, to not know how to exist. Instead, I point my finger and I say, you live in fear. I wish to learn from that. Therefore, I learn in fear. And I embody fear. And that is my desire. My desire is to blend my external reality with my internal reality. And I believe, because my internal reality must reflect my external reality, my internal reality must be full of fear. Because my external reality is full of fear. The ones who I believe, the ones who I follow, the ones who I listen to, I point the finger and I say, you exist in fear. You exist in less than, even though you are great. And I believe that I should follow that path of being less than instead of being great, because you are who you are. And for me to inspire to be more, I must also believe that to be more and to be greater, I must achieve that external reality which is shaking in fear. Therefore, I must enjoy and impart and intake that reality of living in fear and shaking in fear. I must learn from it. I must be inspired from it. I must continue to make choices based upon the choices that others make. Because others make choices, from what I've seen, from those 6, in fear. Everything they say, their body responds in fear. Therefore, everything I do must have the immediate result of responding in fear. Therefore, I must live in fear. And to live in complete intonation with my inner and external reality, I must be in fear. Music is a personification of fear. Trains is a personification of fear. Comedy is a personification of fear. Drug trade is a personification of fear. Having a band, being in a band, and performing shows and touring is a personification of fear. I have learned that I must fully engage myself in this realm of fear with all my heart, all my mind, and all my body. Because that is the way that life is. Life on earth is quivering in fear in all these activities. When you speak about movies, people are to shake in fear. Therefore, I must be in fear. When I learn about who they are and learn about the wisdom that they provide, and they shake in fear, I must learn that providing wisdom must mean I must also quake in fear. Discovering about myself means that I must forego courage and fearlessness. My beliefs in music, my beliefs in education are inept, because in order to believe in education and in music and in movies and media wholeheartedly, I must come to the level where I'm quaking in fear as I'm speaking of these things. And if I am not quaking in fear, then that means I do not understand. That means I am not aware, and that means I am not in tune with myself. Unless I quake in fear, I will never know who I am. Unless I quake in fear, I will never be successful. And unless I shake in fear, I will always be second. I will always be second best. I will always be last. And I will always be following. I won't be learning from others. I won't be inspired. I won't make my own choices. I will make the same choices. And I will make the same choices in fear. And I will be locked in my own mind. And I will be unable to escape. I will be unable to move. And it is of my own doing. It is of my own choices. It is of my own desire. I am unable to be fearless. I am unable to be courageous. I am unable to believe in myself to take that next step, to make history. Those 6, they make history when they shake in fear in their description of the military, their experiences, their lifestyles. I do not shake in fear, therefore I do not understand. Therefore I am not great. As they are great, as they are shining in their brilliance, not only as Americans, but as great human beings. I instead choose to point the finger and say that you live in fear. You do not live in greatness. I choose to point the finger and say you live in lies, instead of saying you live in truth. I choose to point the finger and say that you are a hypocrite, instead of saying that you are the truth-telling sage who is wise and who is learned and who is expressing to the best of his abilities. I point my finger and say you are the criminal, instead of saying you are the vigilante. I point my finger and say you are evil and you are corrupt. I point my finger and say that all 6 of them are the worst of the worst, and that they only bring more corruption on the earth, and that I am the source of all goodness, and that they should submit to me. But I am ignorant, and I do not know that they shake in fear. And because they shake in fear, they are greater than I. And I am not informed that they shake in fear. I do not understand fear as well as they do. Therefore I am less than. They are unaware of what they're doing, yet I am aware of what they do. I am aware of what I'm doing, and I am aware of what they are doing, more than they are. But I do not shake in fear. Therefore I am less than. Therefore I am not fully committed and engaged in life as an adult. I am not a history maker, and I am not a writer of history, because I do not engage in life shaking in fear, as the great men who make history like they do have, are, and will. They are the ones who wish to make the most amount of money. I wish to point the finger and say that they are wrong, and that they should listen to others instead of themselves. I am the one who says I should point the finger and say that they are the worst of the worst, and that they are liars, and that they do not wish to achieve the most amount of money in their lives, because I wish to be the best. Therefore I distract them as much as I can through the screen. I talk to the screen. I talk to the phone. I think I can be loud and shout to the universe and the world, they are wrong, I am right. They are shaking in fear, I am beaming in pride and greatness and truth and honor. They are the ones who are not the greatest. They are the ones who live in dishonor. I am the one who lives in greatness. I am the one who lives in honor. I am the fool who believes that I can reach them by speaking out loud. I believe that I can connect with them and talk to them and speak to them by talking at the phone and by talking at the screen. I believe that I can engage in activities while I listen, and I believe that somehow they will pay attention to me and they will follow me. I believe and am trained in a system that they will do everything I say. I believe that they are listening to me and that they are my followers. I believe that they are my disciples, and I believe that they are the ones who are listening to me and are obeying me. I am the fool who moves about and creates dedicated action on many different levels, that I believe that I can connect to them somehow. I believe that I can block everyone else out and only communicate with them. But that is not true. That is a fool's way of thinking. It is a limited form of thinking, and it is a narrow box that I live in that continues to allow me to be fooled by the greatness that I think they're personifying from my instruction and from my teachings and from my wisdom. I wish to be so sincere and engaged so deeply that I wish to communicate to nature. However, that is what a fool does, for I do not listen to them as intently as I do, as I search for my own solution of how I can be better and greater to them. I wish to respond to them and to answer to them, to be the best that I can be. I am committed to many different types of actions and many different scales of martial arts and many different scales of beliefs and belief in the nature around me and the dance that I engage in around me in order to better connect with them. And I fool myself so that I can be great in their eyes. Instead, I wish to engage in fear. I wish to engage in lies. I wish to engage in my own fulfillment instead of discovering the fulfillment that they had for me. For who I was, who I am, and who I will be. I am unable to learn as well as they do. I close my mind. I close my eyes, my ears, and all my senses. And I yell and scream instead of taking my time and engaging in my reality. I ignore it. I yell at it. I block it out. They are trying to teach me that oneness is the reality that exists. Yet I refuse to believe, and I refuse to listen. I only listen to what I want to listen to. I only hear what I want to hear, and therefore I am confined and limited in my mind, and I stay in the same spot, in the same spot, in the same place, looking around with my eyes, hoping to reach out to something, while at the same time only limiting my mind further and further and further. I wish to be the one who is more informed, who knows the truth. Yet they are the ones who know the truth. They are the ones who are committed to reality. And they are the ones who are in tune with everything around them. I am not in tune. The actions that I commit to when I listen to them are separate from the actions that I wish to engage and personify, as I believe that I obey their every order and their every command and their every intention. I only believe that I obey them from what I understand. I am a fool that engages in activities of karma and a relentlessness and a ridiculousness in a cyclical fortune, in a cyclical manner, with no wisdom ascribed, and definitely no wisdom in comparison to the wisdom that they are and they radiate as the beaming brilliance that they are. And I do not comprehend that they wish to connect with me and to know my greatness in terms of my leadership and my foundership and my directorship and my leadership. I do not understand how much they care about me. I do not understand how much desire they have for me to be the best that I can be. I don't know, and I do not understand how much they are actually involved in my life, and I ignore the greatness that is there for me. I perhaps don't even cherish the love that they have, not only for me, but for others around me, and for everybody who enters my life. They are more dedicated than I am aware, and therefore I ignore the greatness that is within me, and that I was born with. I was born with greatness, and yet I decide to listen to the wisdom that they instill. And even as I listen, I do not take in the information, for my brain seems to be a concrete block, and nothing seems to enter my mind. I seem to be ignorant of everything. I seem to be ignorant of the love that they wish to portray. I seem to be ignorant of the love that they wish to personify and teach me. I believe that they're inspired by who I am. I believe they're inspired by who I was. And I believe they're inspired by who I'm going to be. Yet I continue down a path of relentlessness, as if a man blindfolded, being pushed upon a path by those behind him who just push him forward. And I have no cane. I have no assistance. All I have are the hands upon my back that push me forward as I walk in darkness, one step after the next, one step after the other, moving forward in what I believe to be courage. Yet I believe in the fear that is shaking those hands that I feel on my back, pushing me forward. I feel the fear that exists in those beings, and they shiver, and they quiver, and they quake, and they live in such tremendous fear that I do not understand. I must understand that I am perfect, and so it is.